guys, what's going on? LBHT crew B, what is going on?
I'll tell you what's going on. We started right on time.
Right on time.
Love it.
Because we're leaving right on time.
I was going to say because we're professionals and this is an outstanding production that we put on here, but also correct. Also true.
Man, if you guys could see what goes on right to the lead up of the show, it is madness. It is madness. I was getting ready to throw things over here, but my camera wasn't working. but we're here. We're here. All right. It's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Hope your week is going well. But if not, hopefully it gets better starting right now. Everybody's already here in the chat. Omar Tillman was here early. He says, finally, game week, fellas. Yes, indeed. Shout out to you. We got Ravens online gatekeepers in the house. Shout out to Hendo. Says LBHT crew. What's going on? One more day until the season starts. 2 days until the Ravens fumble the ball. Oh man, he ain't talking about football. He talking about Lamar's contract. We're gonna talk about that. Yes, indeed. Corey Holiday's in the house. Says finally football. That's right. And thank you for coming through, Corey. Raven Ron's in the house. Says, he's on the Ravens online gatekeeper. Says they will fumble and recover it next year. Okay, all right. Keep the faith. I like that. D Weezy in the house says, what up, crew? Is it football season already?
Yes, sir.
It is. MJ in the house says, what up, everyone? Hope y'all doing okay or doing great. Yes, we are here.
Thank you.
Andre Mears in the house. What's
up, Andre?
Yes. Danity's in the house says football week is back. Hey, y'all. Hey, Danity. Oh, God, Deshaun's in the house. Shout out to Deshaun.
What's up, Deshaun? It's always funny because the voices that you do, like in the tone and everything, when you're reading these shout outs, is how I picture them now. But I think Danity talks like that now.
She talks like that, I bet. What's going on, Yolanda? Yolanda says, good evening, LBHT. What's going on? Tracy's in the house. Tracy says, ready for my dudes. Yes. Thank you for coming through, Tracy. Appreciate you. Davon's in the house. Says yes, sir. And collect. What he said? Yes, sir. Hashtag LBHT crew. And happy anniversary to Davon and his wife. They celebrated however many years of marriage. And yeah, congratulations to you guys. Okay.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Here's to many more. 1/3 of Ring Kings podcast and 1/4 of Off the Record podcast. Mr. OTR Mike is here. Says, yo, lunch break hotness. Indeed. Yes. Our guy Eric Hell is in the house. Says, greetings, everyone.
What's up, Eric?
All is most excellent. Yes. Thank you for coming through. Jake P. Shout out to you. Living Legend. Living Legend's here. Now the party can begin. Oh, man.
12 years.
12 years. There you go. Go. Congrats, my friend. Congrats. Suge Knight 323 is also here. Ravens fans real scared when it comes to the QB.
So are Steeler fans.
Not scared staying at Trubisky. I know that.
Hey, come on, man.
Just Alo's in the house says, hello, LBHT crew, and happy anniversary, Davon. Indeed.
Baby hands got y'all. You'll be fine.
We got Coach Evans from Sip to Tally Films in the house. Says, good evening, gentlemen. Hey, good evening to you. Appreciate you coming through. Taja's here early. What? Says Jose and Brodny, what's happening? What's happening with you? You know football season is here. Look who's here. Kimberly Harmon is back, ladies and gentlemen. She has returned. She is back. She said, okay. She said, I know they're talking about Ravens now. I'll come back.
Yeah.
I'll come back. Yes. All right. Look. It's the first week of NFL. Obviously, we're going to be talking a lot about Ravens and Panthers matchup. And we'll give our picks for the other games of the week. And that's pretty much going to be the show. And, of course, we're going to discuss the elephant in the room, Lamar's contract. But first, we like to start every show with a Black History fact. And B has a Black History fact for you.
Yeah, this is more of a Black PSA. For people living in the city of Baltimore, if you haven't heard, they have found E. coli in some of the public water in West Baltimore and parts of Baltimore County. They, from what I can tell, have not done a great job of getting the word out
at all.
Again, just in case you had not heard that, definitely. I mean, they've issued boil water orders but get bottled if you can, and kind of stay away from that water supply for as long as possible. And it's something that really kind of caught my eye, over the last couple of days, considering what's going on in Jackson, Mississippi as well. Their water is coming out of the tap black, and they're just government saying, hey, just boil it, be all good. And that is going on because one of the rivers, I believe it's the Pearl River, flooded after a recent storm and caused the water treatment plant to shut down. They've suspended water treatment indefinitely in one of the largest treatment plants.
And then they initially tell the people of Jackson to just boil their water.
Yeah, that's not initially. That's what they're telling them. Just boil it. And
that's it.
And this isn't even something that it's not like, oh man, this is an unforeseeable. Yeah, thank you, Coach. Thank you. Unforeseeable tragedy. Like that plant was already running on backup generators. They had a boil water order in July and some earlier this year as well. And obviously we all remember Flint, Michigan, and what was going on with their water, and I believe still ongoing to this day.
Yeah,
and so it kind of brought me to the topic of environmental.
And DC and Baltimore with the lead and the pain, and
right. But it brought me to the topic of environmental racism, which is something that not a lot of people, a lot of people kind of shake their head at and like, oh, that's not a thing, blah blah blah. But it is. It's not obviously that the environment is racist. It's government policies, corporate policies that kind of push minorities into areas where you're going to have the worst effects from the environment. So I just pulled a couple of real quick quotes. Like I said, I don't want to take up too much time here, but this areas with higher temperatures within cities are the same areas that were segregated decades ago. Neighborhoods with higher temperatures are the same areas that were subject to the racist practice of redlining, in which banks and insurance companies systematically refused or limited loans, mortgages, or insurance to communities of color. According to NPR, in a study of 108 urban areas nationwide, the formerly redlined neighborhoods in nearly every city studied were hotter than those not subjected to redlining. The temperature difference, it kind of cut off there at the bottom, but the temperature difference in some areas was nearly 13 degrees. And what that is talking about is you're subjecting people of color to extreme weather. Not just it's a little bit hotter, but these are areas that we're getting those huge spikes in heat that are very, very dangerous, particularly to elderly people, and and again, it's minorities are pushed into those areas so that white people don't have to live there, right, and deal with those kind of consequences. Minority communities often live in affected areas before hazardous facilities are built. A study by University of Southern California sociology professor Manuel Pastor reviewed data for minority populations and move-ins before and after the arrival of toxic storage and disposal facilities in Los Angeles County from 1970 to 1990. Areas scheduled to receive waste factories were mostly minority communities. After the facilities arrived, there were no significant increases in the minority population. A 2003 United States Commission on Civil Rights report also concluded, it appears, therefore, that minorities attract toxic storage and disposal facilities, but these facilities do not attract minorities, which kind of tells you what you already know. Minority communities and lower income communities are targeted for those kind of facilities that no one wants to live around. But again,
they target the powerless, right?
Right. In order to keep them that way.
Yes.
But again, just something to think about. And like I said, if you are in Baltimore City, West Baltimore, Baltimore County, obviously boil your water, get bottled water if you can, and just be careful and be safe.
And shout out to Irami Osei Frimpong. He's a YouTuber. He does a lot of philosophy, black politics, things like that. But he was talking about Jackson, Mississippi, and he said, look, anywhere where there's a high population of black people, check the water, right? And yeah, it's true. It's always these issues. It's always these issues in the black neighborhoods, right, or the poor neighborhoods, or black and poor neighborhoods, right? It's never.
But just to be clear, if you have the choice between black neighborhoods and poor neighborhoods, they're going to the black neighborhoods first.
Yes.
So
100% of the time. 100% of the time. This is not a coincidence. This is not a coincidence. Look, we are giving you guys the information, okay, that you need when people try to say, oh, well, why don't they just pick themselves up by the bootstraps? Why don't they just do better? Right? There's all kinds of factors that play into a lot of our environments that we grew up in, or if you're a person of color, you grew up in those environments, or somebody that grew up in those environments, and the odds are just stacked against us. And it's not as simple as just saying just do better or just try harder, because you see one outlier who made it, right? Fix these things that are happening in our community that are well within our policymakers' control, and then you'll start to see some overwhelming change.
Well, yeah, because white people don't have to be outliers to make it.
Right. It's a fact. It's a fact. All right. Oh boy, we got serious with you guys. We got serious with y'all. Now it's time to have some fun. Yes, indeed. Ravens versus Jets. I don't know how fun it's gonna be if Lamar don't sign that contract. And Kimberly, she kicks it off. She says, "Do you think Lamar Jackson gets his contract done by this Friday before 1 week against the Jets?" Look, do we want to tie this into this, or do we want to set that?
Yeah, no, let's just go ahead and tie it in. Let's go ahead and tie it in. We're gonna make this 45 minutes if we can. I said, going back weeks and months, I didn't think that there was any chance they would get this deal done, and I'm gonna stick with that. I don't think he gets signed before Friday. I think that they go into the season with him on that 5th-year option. I think they go into the offseason and have to franchise him, and then it's going to get really uncomfortable for Baltimore.
Yeah, so Yolanda got excited about the 45-minute segment. Yolanda, what he's trying to say is, let's talk about this for 45 minutes and then get out of here. He's not talking about having a longer show. Okay.
No. We got the fantasy draft tonight.
Hashtag no 2 hours. Thank you, Davon. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Oh, so we didn't even plug our stuff, right?
Yeah.
First of all, 45 people in here, hit that like button. And if you are new, hit that subscribe button. We are doing a live fantasy football draft for patrons, right? That league filled up quick, actually. Yeah. We had to extend it to 14 teams now. So we're going to do that on the Overtime Show. If you want to be a part of it, or just hang out and just watch us do it, patreon.com/LBHT Show for as little as $3 a month. You can do that. Mm-hmm. Also, I know you guys are looking to, I know we're hitting you with that hotness and you're looking for that super chat. There are 2 ways we do super chat here. Okay. It's a little different over here. One is right below B, $LBHT Show. That's the Cash App. Also, that pin link that you see in the comment will take you to our stream elements. Both ways. You can leave your donation, leave your comment. You'll get a nice little animation right next to my face, right there, right there, right around there. All right. Lamar Jackson is going to get signed by Friday. He might get signed on Friday. And here's why. Do the Ravens want to pay a little less now or more later? Okay. There's no scenario where they're going to get a discount for Lamar Jackson. Literally, as every day goes by, the price goes up. He is already beating you. If this is about you not wanting to lose to agentless player, sorry, you lost. Take your L, right? Which is actually a win because he is your franchise. But like we were discussing, B. Oh, and shout out to Anonymous. Indeed, appreciate you. Says thank you for another most excellent show, brother man. I think is what you meant to say.
Yeah,
appreciate you.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
But so next year, everybody's talking about it. Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow are going to get their extensions. So Joe Burrow just came from the Super Bowl. Who knows what he does this year? But okay, you might argue, hey, he's been farther than Lamar, right? He's playing great football right now. Okay, cool. Justin Herbert hasn't done anything. Yeah. Awesome player. I think he's well worth the money. I think he's going to be one of the top QBs in the league. I mean, he's already up there, right? But his team hasn't been to the playoffs. Yeah. So accomplishments aren't there.
With those guys, it won't be about their accomplishments. It'll be about their skill and their potential moving forward. With Lamar, it's about, hey, what have you done?
Yes.
And to your point, I hear what you're saying about not wanting to, they know that the price is going to go up. And, I think in the back of their head, they do know that. But I think what they're hoping for is a Joe Flacco situation where they wait him out, and they can say, hey, it was us not giving him the money that inspired him to have the season that he had. That's why we just won a Super Bowl. Now we're happy to pay him, blah, blah, blah. So I don't think that they are really, going to say to themselves, hey, we can pay less now versus more later. I think they're going to wait through the season and hope something turns in their favor. And I say that because they're generally bad at their jobs.
Like, I mean, that'd be great, for us fans if that came through again.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't, right, they still have to pay him. And now you have to make the hard decisions as an organization. All right, Harbaugh's been 5 years with them, and they haven't gotten to the Super Bowl or won the Super Bowl. They haven't built a team around him the way they built a team around Flacco. That's another thing, right? And now we got to pay him even more money than we were going to pay him last year because,
yes,
okay, we're looking at $50 million per year. That has to happen. If he gets franchise tag next year, it's $45 million or very close to $45 million. If you franchise them again the following year, it's like $55 million, right? So the total over these next 3 years is going to be $123 million, fully guaranteed. All of it hitting the cap at once. No way to maneuver that cap space. So they're stuck, right? Yeah. They're stuck with that. And if they wait, like I've been saying, if they wait until next year and Herbert gets his deal done, and shout out to Hendo. Appreciate you, Hendo. Hendo says leading passer and leading rusher, so he deserves more than they are offering. I agree. Appreciate it. Well, I'll touch on that in a second. But Herbert and Burrow get their deal done. We're talking about $60 million per year, right? Yeah. And $250 you could throw out the window. It's closer to $300 guaranteed. That's just my prediction. If you wait,
and if it was me, like you gotta, I don't think that. And like I said before, I put this on Bisciotti, not on EDC, because it's not his money. He can't say, you know what, you're going to pay Lamar whatever we agree to. It's Bisciotti has to make that call, right? And I just don't think that he's, billionaires are not used to losing. They want to get their way, and he's not going to just give in. And if it's me, I'm looking at it and saying, hey, okay, he's asking for, whatever he's asking for. We don't know. The rumor is $200 million guaranteed. If you're asking for $200 million guaranteed, I'm going to give you a contract that's worth $300 million and guarantee 200 of it, so we still have room to play around if we need to. I mean, that's kind of my way of saying, you don't need the fully guaranteed contract. We'll give you however much money it is you want, but we still need flexibility on the back end of the deal. If you get just hung up on the fully guaranteed, it's going to be a lot more difficult to get a deal done. But even in those cases, it benefits you to get the deal done sooner rather than later. Yeah. I mean, we look at the Browns, because everybody's talking about Deshaun Watson and his contract. He's counting $9 million against the cap this year, a little more than $9 million, I believe. Mm-hmm. And then every other year of his contract, it's about 55, I believe. And that's just 100% guaranteed. There's nothing they can do. I mean, they could sign them to an extension, void years, whatever, but that's $55 million hitting their cap every single season. So you don't want that as the team. So that to me is why you go and you floor him with an offer early on that's way more than what he's asking for, and just not fully guaranteed, and say, hey, that's just so that we can manage it cap wise, in the later years of the deal.
Yeah. But, that's what they should have done. That's what the Chiefs did with Patrick Mahomes. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was so sudden that deal happened. I mean, there was no talk about negotiation or anything like that. He was probably just sitting there, just chilling. They're like, hey, come here. Yeah. We got something for you and your agent. And they're like, what? $400 million? Yes. Right. Right. Now, $40 million a year is cheap. That was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and that's the thing too, because a lot of people say, "Oh, doesn't deserve $50 million a year, doesn't deserve $55 million a year." Like, I don't understand how people have not caught on to how quickly these salaries rise. Like you said, $40 million a year. When he signed that deal, it blew everyone away.
And shout out to Marcus McClendon. I'm not sure if he's being sarcastic or not. He said, did y'all see a picture with Lamar looking really fat today? Disappointing for a guy looking for a fully guaranteed deal or close to it. Well, first of all, that's not fat, my friend. That is muscle. And this isn't this isn't a beauty contest. This isn't a, you know what I'm saying, this isn't a bodybuilding contest. You see what his performance is. Like the way he looks doesn't matter, right? Like what does that have to do with his performance? He's performed up to this point. I don't care how he looks, it's about how he plays. If he goes out there and plays like we all expect him to do, like what does it matter if he looks fat or not?
Yeah, and the other thing is, if you've seen Lamar all offseason, Kevin brought it up. If you see one picture where he looks fat, that means he's not fat.
Yeah.
Like you saw one picture from a certain angle that made him kind of look fat. That happened with Eddie Lacy years ago. There was one picture that made him look really fat, and he wasn't. He was very in shape until later. But if you see one picture and you're like, oh man, he looks fat there, and you hadn't thought that before, that means he's not fat.
All right, this will be a couple of comments here. Coach Evans says, if Lamar's fat, I'm Godzilla. Just Allo says, if Lamar ends up leaving the Ravens, the Browns' move for Watson will turn out to be the most brilliant move in football history. You get your QB and cause a division rival to lose theirs. Ooh, that's a good point. That's a good point. Let's see here. What we got? Oh, what's up, Black Daniels? Black Daniels says, nah, Flacco winning was best case scenario. They offered before he gambled. He had flood the season.
Yeah.
But you know what?
But they've offered Lamar too.
My thing with Flacco is I believe this, right? They never really wanted to pay Flacco, right? I think the plan was after that year, they're gonna let him move on and they're gonna just try to get, upgrade the quarterback a little bit. Then everything just fell in line, had a magical run. But I still believe that Ozzie had no intentions of paying him, because for those of you who are a little bit younger than us who may not heard this name, I ain't gonna name the names, but if you have not heard of Trent Dilfer, okay, that is the quarterback of the first Super Bowl we won. And as soon as we won a Super Bowl, they're like, thank you for your services. You can go. Okay. Yeah. I think they're going to do that to I think Ozzie wanted to do that to Flacco, and Steve Bisciotti stepped in and said, no, pay him.
Well, yeah, right? and that was not the best case scenario, because Flacco was not good after that Super Bowl. after he won it.
He had one good year with Kubiak.
Yeah, I mean, he was okay there.
Actually, he had his best year. He had his best year with Kubiak.
But I'm just saying, generally speaking, like, he got a ton of money, more money than most people would say he was worth. And then his performance, went the other way.
Yeah. Yeah. Marcus McClendon says, honestly, y'all have to see what picture. Okay, I don't have to see a picture. I've seen him all offseason. I saw him work out. I saw him at practice. I seen him up close. I don't need to see it. I don't see a picture, right? And pictures get doctored online. Listen, I mean, I hope you're not looking at something you saw on Twitter. Please don't tell me that that's the case.
No, I see the picture. No, he's joking. It's all
right. Shout out to NDT Sports says, if they don't give Lamar Jackson his money, it's gonna be some problems. Steve better be careful in Baltimore Ravens. Yes, it's gonna be some problems here. That's why I think ultimately they're gonna get it done. They may not like it. They don't like how it's going down, but to me, they don't have a choice, right? They don't have a choice. I understand billionaires can do whatever they want to do. That is a fact. That's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Steve Bisciotti still wants to win. I think he likes making money. I think he likes seeing his stadium full. And Lamar's got too much control over all those factors right now.
I'm gonna disagree with one of them statements. He does not want to win. And that's a good time to go ahead and bring this up. Let me make sure I got the right one here. This is it. Yes. The Baltimore Ravens depth chart heading into week 1 against the New York Jets. You see, you got Ronnie Stanley, Ben Powers, Linderbaum, Zeitler, Morgan Moses scheduled to be the starting offensive line. Obviously, Lamar Jackson there. J.K. Dobbins, although according to our guy Mills RX, he's at Game Medicine on Twitter.
He has a YouTube channel. Make sure you go subscribe to him.
Yes. He says that according to a source, J.K. Dobbins only did individual drills and then went for physical therapy on his knee. He's trending towards a doubtful designation tomorrow but the team will continue to say questionable. We talked
fine.
about it.
Start him.
We say
fine.
that he shouldn't. There's no reason for J.K. Dobbins to play against the Jets. Make sure he's 100% because he hasn't looked like it.
Otherwise, I mean, why are we bringing Kenyon Drake?
Right. And Mike Davis.
Yeah.
At wide receiver, you got Rashad Bateman, Devin Duvernay getting that other starting spot with DeMarcus Robinson and James Prochet on, backing them up.
What?
And then Tylan Wallace in the soon-to-be cut spot over there.
We only have 5 wide receivers on the team
for now.
I'm confused. This must be a typo. Surely James Prochet is supposed to be a number 2, right? Oh no, my bad. You guys changed your mind. You decided DeMarcus Robinson is number 2 now, right?
Yeah.
Whoever you said it wasn't Duvernay. How did he get the number 2 spot? I'm confused by that.
But I wanted to call everyone's attention. Obviously, people have been talking about it to the defensive side of the depth chart here, where you got Justin Houston and you've got Odafe Owe.
Okay,
and
I like that.
Then blank. Just maybe anybody can fill in right there.
Well, hold on here.
They've got
yeah.
They've got 2 outside linebackers, 2 edge rushers going into the game. And listen, I'm just looking at it, and at certain positions, it's very strong, right? They've got one of the best secondaries in the league. Their running back room is really good. Obviously, the O-line, assuming health, should be pretty good. Obviously, Lamar Jackson. But when the Baltimore Ravens want to have a hole on their roster, they go all in, because starting a guy at wide receiver who has yet to hit 300 yards in a season and he's coming into his 3rd year is bold, but not as bold as saying we're not going to have any backup edge rushers.
Put that back up there just for a second. Listen, we are up against the cap right now, and I just want to know, where did it go?
Well, they're not even up against the cap, really, are they? I mean, they just opened up.
They opened up a few $1 million.
Yeah, they opened up like 6 or 7.
Yeah. Where's the rest of the money?
Well, I mean, it's spread out amongst
every time we talk about
in there.
Every time we talk about signing somebody or trading somebody, he's going to cost too much. We can't spend we don't have the cap for him. Well, what are we spending it on?
All those mediocre veterans. They just signed Kyler Fackrell to the practice squad, so maybe he gets called up and he can help out in some situations there. But
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something. And you heard me rant about this, B. Ravens get lauded for the way they manage the cap and they don't mortgage the future and all that nonsense. That's a lie. Okay, they're bad at this. They are really bad at this because they never get any real difference makers. They think they're getting guys that are just good enough, and you don't have to overspend for this position. But all they're getting is fast food, right? You get like when you guys when you get to a point and you're like, man, I gotta start budgeting. I don't know where my money's going, right? And you start pulling up your bank statements. And you start looking at where your money's going. It's like, man, I should have more money. I'm doing all right. I don't go out that much. Where's my money going? But then you see, oh man, went to McDonald's like 3 or 4 times this week. Oh, I had to hit up that Starbucks too. That stuff starts adding up and it eats away at your budget. That's what they do. They're eating out too much. They're buying fast food, okay? Because it's so cheap, right? Hey, that McGriddle, man, that's like $3.
Grubhub sending you an annual wrap-up email is the worst thing they could do. You want to talk about like an indie horror movie? It's opening that email, right? But it's right. That's what Carolina did as well. They would sign solid veterans, and it would be more than the vet minimum, and it would just eat away at the cap. And you don't really notice, and you're like, why can't we go out and sign a player who will actually make a difference? I don't think, in Baltimore's case, I don't think it's a big deal because they wouldn't sign that guy anyway. That hypothetical player, they're not going to make that signing regardless. That's not who they are. It's not in them. But to come into the season with 2 healthy edge rushers on the roster is, I mean, bravo. Bravo. I mean, you want to talk about, like, John Harbaugh better be walking out to every home game to doing it my way. But they're playing the Jets, so maybe they're thinking, hey, we can get away with it this week because it's the Jets, right? They look like they've made some solid additions. Garrett Wilson, Jermaine Johnson, Ahmad Sauce Gardner at corner. They had some decent young talent there already as well.
Yeah.
They signed Dwayne Brown after they lost Mekhi Becton for the season. And, an old friend of the Baltimore Ravens, who we mentioned earlier, is going to be starting that game in Joe Flacco.
Yes.
I think that makes this game significantly more difficult than if it were going to be Zach Wilson. But this is still a team that I think Baltimore should be able to roll over.
Yeah. Significantly more difficult means, maybe they get a touchdown. All right. Maybe it's 35-13 instead of 35-6. I don't know. All right. Like this should, like, this is one of those games they can't mess up.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's not like, yes, the Jets have some young talent. I like Robert Saleh, for the future. I just don't think they're ready yet. And I don't think they're at that point where they're going to sneak up on anybody. Right. They're just not there yet. They are what they are. They're a bad team right now. They could be one of those teams that they get better throughout the season, and next year, watch out. Like I think that's Detroit this year. I think Detroit is one of those teams you gotta be a little careful when you go to Detroit. You can't just go in there thinking that's going to be a cakewalk.
Now, all of that is true. I agree with all that. But you also had to, we had this exact same conversation about the Raiders last year, right? And they went out and they lost that game. But the Ravens have not had a chance to practice together much up to this point. The O-line has not practiced together at all, the starting O-line. J.K. Dobbins, whether he plays or not, if he plays, again, that's a guy who hasn't been out there to practice. Devin Duvernay missed a lot of practice. James Prochet missed a lot of practice. Demarcus Robinson's only been there a couple weeks. Even on the defensive side, Owe sat out a lot in the spring. Tyus Bowser's not going to be playing, but he's been out. They've had guys who have not been there. You got to wonder if they've had a chance to gel and if they're going to come out and be a cohesive team in week one, or if it's going to be, man, this game is much, much tougher than we thought. It's much closer than we thought, and we got to fight tooth and nail to try and get a win from the New York Jets.
I mean, that'd be very concerning. Even for me, look, I still have this team winning. What did I say, like 12 wins? Well, no, we're gonna give predictions. We did the early predictions. We're gonna give predictions. All right, we'll do that at the end of the segment. But for this game, no, man, I expect us to go out there and dominate. I don't care. Look, that roster that we just put up there, that's by choice. That's not an injury riddled roster there, right? There are 2 healthy edge rushers on this team because they chose for it to be that way. Okay, you drafted a hurt player, right? And we already knew Tyus Bowser was hurt from last year, so. Those 2, like Ajabo and Bowser, that's not one of those things where it's like, oh well, I mean, they got hurt. They've been hurt when they were putting together this team. You already knew about them. So this is the way they wanted it. Like I try to tell you, man, they don't care about pass rushing. They don't care about edge rushers. They are going to blitz. If you didn't believe that before, now you know. They can't get any clearer about that. They are going to blitz. All right. So this is the team that they wanted. They said, hey, we believe in this team. We're going to get done with this team. So no excuses. So I expect us to go out there and crush them.
Yeah, I would have expected the Jets to be leaning heavily on Michael Carter and Breece Hall in this game if Zach Wilson was starting. With Joe Flacco in there, I think they're going to be more comfortable trying to throw on Baltimore, trying to get Elijah Moore and Garrett Wilson and Corey Davis and those guys involved. I don't think it's going to work. It had better not work considering the secondary they put together. So I'm going to say that Baltimore wins 24. I'm going to give the Jets 10.
Okay. I expect Michael Carter and Breece Hall to still be heavily involved in the check down game because that's Joe Flacco's bread and butter. Yes, and I agree, Mikey. He throws 2 interceptions, right? Just like he did in preseason. One of them will be a pick 6. 10 points. I can see 10 points for them. I think 10 or 13 points. I'm going to say 31-13 Ravens. Yep, 31-13 Ravens.
Okay.
All right, put your scores in there. All right. I'm gonna read some of these comments real quick.
I think that Kyle Hamilton is going to get beat for the lone jet touchdown, and people are going to freak out for absolutely no reason.
I am. Look, you drafted him too high. He better be locked. He better be shut down day one. He's already a backup.
And that is the one thing that I do want to see out of this game. I'm really hoping to see, and it's nothing against this guy, but I'm just tired of hearing it. I want to see somebody score on Gardner.
Sauce Gardner, I heard he was the one.
Yeah,
that's what I heard. Generational. Mr. J6 says, I can see Quentin Williams getting to backfield constantly. He better not.
But who's going to stop him? Ben Powers?
Oh, my God. No, man. Tyler Linderbaum. Okay? Linderbaum's going to stop him. Quentin Williams is nice, you know, but, I mean, we've upgraded our O-line, and I better see the difference out there day one. King95 says, Bateman, DeMarcus is a good 1-2 in my opinion. You got that wrong. You meant Bateman and Duvernay, because Duvernay is number 2.
King, right? I got to tell you, King, that is a top 30 1-2 in the world. For sure. Top 30.
Top 30 and not 29.
It's definitely up there. Definitely up there.
Let's see. Ron says O-line going to be solid and run offense, pass offense hurting.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Hendo says, y'all told me to be positive, so I am positive that this will get resolved. JP says they don't care about pass rushers, but they care about a fullback lining up in the slot.
Nobody ever sees the fullback go route coming.
Yeah.
You can't name me one time in NFL history where somebody's been ready for that.
What's up, RTV? Thanks for coming through. Yes, week 1 is here. All right, Raven Ron says 30-10 Ravens. Flacco gets sacked 6 times. Man, they're gonna be listen. They're gonna be too tired.
you projecting a lot of snaps for Travis Jones?
They're gonna be too tired. I guess I think it's gonna be one of those things where it's gonna be shared all around, right?
Yeah. Every corner gets 1 sack.
Yeah. All right. Okay. D Weezy's waiting, but we gotta give our season predictions, right?
Okay.
Living Legend says 27-17. Davon says 34-7. JP says 24-17. Okay.
Yeah.
King says 31-14. All right. Deshaun says Bateman cook. Not you, Deshaun. Not you.
I love you turning. I love you turning on Sauce just because of where he landed. Deshaun.
I knew this was going to happen. I knew this was
Keep it up.
Deshaun, I was you 20 years ago. Okay. Deshaun, he screamed at us on Discord that we have to get Sauce Gardner. He's a generational talent. He's going to be a lockdown corner. Nobody can score on him. And as soon as he goes to another team, boom, Bateman's going to cook him. 7 catches, 113 yards and a touchdown. I love it, Deshaun. I love it. Don't change, my friend. Devon Allen says, Brodny, you wrong about the top 30. There's a few college teams with a better 1 and 2. I think you're right.
That's messed up. That's messed up, man.
Look, I have a lot of confidence in Rashad Bateman. I'm just not putting that expectation that everybody else is putting on him this year. I think he will be a top 10 wide receiver at some point. I just don't think this year. Right? That's too much. That's too much to put on a second year wide receiver. Right. Flacco revenge game 21-17 Jets. That's what Mr. J is predicting. But y'all will sign Lamar afterwards. Oh, okay. Well, Lamar's not holding out. Or at least I don't think so. Now, listen, all this goes out the window if Lamar holds out. Okay. All this
he's not holding out. I do want to give a shout out to Sharon. We just got a new $10 patron. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Appreciate you, Sharon. Thank you. If you want to be awesome like Sharon, patreon.com/LBHT Show. That's where you go. Yes. All right. And we'll talk about those tiers later on. Thank you, Sharon. Okay. All right. Keep the comments coming. Season predictions.
Okay. So we'll do this real quick for the record. Okay, so Baltimore's playing the Jets, Miami, New England, Buffalo, Cincinnati, the Giants, Cleveland, Tampa, New Orleans. Then they got the showdown with Carolina, Jacksonville, Denver, Pitt, Cleveland, Atlanta, Pitt, Cincinnati.
You want me to get my prediction first?
Yeah, you go ahead.
I'm going to say 12-5. That's my official prediction. I had them winning 13 before. I knocked it down one game. 12-5. We battle for first place. We fall just short of Cincinnati, but we're still a playoff team. And depending on how we finish the season, we might make a run. Look, get to the playoffs. Anything can happen. You got healthy Lamar. We'll see how the O-line holds up. I'll feel good going into the playoffs. Listen, I say 12-5. But not one time will you find me picking those 5 losses this season. Just so you guys know, if you watch this show,
shameful. Shameful. No integrity zone right here.
JP agrees, King agrees. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm giving them.
She meant 17. Oh, that's 17-7. We don't play 24 games. She meant 17-0.
How do you know she meant 17-0 and she wasn't agreeing with me at 10-7?
Okay. Oh, shout out to our guy E says 10-7. Okay,
there you
that's
go.
On the record.
That's right.
So you say 10-7?
I'm saying 10-7. I think that they are. I think that Lamar. This is where I was going with it. Deshaun says he shouldn't have to, but Lamar can carry us to 13-4. I think he can. Obviously he's capable of that, but I think that they are too thin at wide receiver. They're too thin on the O-line. They're too thin at edge. I think that, like every team, I'm not saying it's going to be like last year, but every team gets injuries. What's going to happen if Bateman misses a couple games? What's going to happen if Mark Andrews misses a couple games? What's going to happen if one of those D linemen misses a couple games? If an injury hits him in a bad spot, right? Yeah. And John Harbaugh is not great at getting his teams prepared to play. They play down to the level of competition, and it stings them sometimes. So I'm going 10-7 for him.
Omar Tillman, a Panthers fan, says must be nice feeling thinking your team is going to be good. Listen, Omar, we're going to get to the Panthers on the other side. In fact, we're going to have D Weezy talk about it too because he's a Panthers fan. Yes. But right now, it is time for you gambling degenerates to get your pen and papers ready because D Weezy is here. He's got the hotness for him. And look at that. What's that on the ticker right there? Happy 1-year anniversary, my friend.
Thank you very much.
It's the 1-year anniversary of Lunch Money Bets. Oh, yes. There we go.
Yes, there we go. The champagne, get the bottles out.
We did it, guys. We made it a year. Okay, 1 year of making you guys money. All right. How we doing, D Weezy?
Man, we're doing good. We on the cusp of this NFL season, so I know y'all want them MLB bets, right?
Not a single time, not once have we wanted it. But
don't worry, I'm gonna have that La Liga on deck for you. I got some NFL for y'all folks.
Oh wait,
I know that's what y'all been dying for.
Hold on a second, because I'm not sure is Saul in the chat because he has a $50 bounty out on that flag in the background. And we might have to collect.
He might need to ask Cruz Azul to do something about that.
Oh, okay. All right, go ahead.
Yes, so getting into our plays to kick off the NFL season. Y'all were already talking about it. Looking at the Ravens game, in this matchup, honestly, I'm gonna have playing it by the spread. I'm gonna have to go with the Jets +7. I do not think this Ravens offense is gonna put up as many points as people expect. Last year, even when Lamar was healthy, it was a great example of, there were chances to put up points. The possibility was there, but it was a lack of execution in many instances. So I think a lot of those predictions where the score was, 24-17, 20-13 in that range, I think that's where this game will fall. Now, moving on, y'all mentioned, we got Carolina Panthers taking on the Browns, quote unquote revenge game.
That's right.
Not much of a spread here. You see the Panthers as technically a -1 point favorite. we saw with the movement at the books that if Deshaun Watson was playing in this game, Carolina would clearly be the underdog in this game, likely by 4 or 5 points at least. I'm going to have to ride with Carolina in this game just because we don't know what we're going to get out of Cleveland's offense. I definitely think it can be a low-scoring game. So, whether it be the money line or playing the spread, basically talking an outright victory, I got to go with the team that I think potentially has more offensive firepower. I think these defenses are very comparable to each other. So it's just going to be a matter of who can actually punch the ball into the end zone. Now, what was that?
No, go ahead.
All right. A couple other games I was looking at, something I'll be targeting going into week 1. Places where there was a lack of turnover, whether it be the coaching, from a coaching standpoint or, for the most part, roster-wise. And on the flip side of that, I will be fading the New York Giants as they take on the Titans, -5.5. I'm pretty sure everybody in here thinks the Titans can win this game by more than 5.5.
Cover your ears, Ferris. Cover your
earmuffs.
Cover your ears, OTR Brandon. Those are our Giants fans in the house. Okay, cover your ears. Okay.
Yes, another team where offensively they might not be able to do much, and as I was mentioning, you have turnover within the coaching staff and organization, and it takes time for everybody to get on the same page. It's not a knock against the people there or what's going on. It's just a matter of fact. You're not necessarily going to hit the ground running. So that being said, coming into week 1, given the Giants aren't going to have a lot of film or things to look at the Titans and to go off of, Titans -5.5. Now going into my last play for the week, I have the Cincinnati Bengals -6.5 against the Steelers. So yeah, should get those earmuffs on because it's probably not going to be pretty. Yes, the Steelers have the wide receiver firepower to potentially keep up with the Bengals, but I think it will be the Bengals defense that is more a factor in this game, stifling the Steelers offense and allowing them to cover that spread.
Well, let's just cut to the chase. How many interceptions does Trubisky throw?
Against that defense, he might not throw that many. We might only see maybe 1 interception, maybe 2.
I was gonna ask what are the odds that he gets benched for Pickens or Pickett. No, Pickett, not Pickens. Pickens is the wide receiver.
Davon is referring to the wide receiver that he is refusing to trade to anybody. Whatever,
yes.
Davon.
I wish we had him. That's the guy we wish we had on the team. Kenny Pickett, you can keep. But what's the odds that he gets benched for Kenny Pickett?
First game, highly unlikely. The Steelers organization, they are a organization that they typically follow through with. If they have a plan for something or a theory or idea behind how they want to approach something, they're pretty steadfast in sticking to that. Now, if it doesn't work, they'll, change things. But for the most part, the Steelers as an organization, if they say this is how they're going to approach it and do it, for the most part, that's what you see happen.
Yeah, they're going to play it out.
I don't know, man. So, this could be another Mason situation, Mason Duck Hodges situation.
No, see, here's the other kicker. They do not want to screw that up with Pickett because for decades, Pittsburgh has been tormented by the fact that they didn't draft that old golden boy that came out of Pittsburgh last time in Dan Marino.
Yeah. And once you switch to Kenny Pickett, you can't make another move. So you got to be 100% sure that
Mason's still there.
You're not going to Mason Rudolph.
I think he's a backup.
No, they changed it. Pickett's the backup. Once you put in the young quarterback, you don't take him back out. Like you don't see. I mean, you see some teams do it, but those are typically bad teams. Once you decide, hey, we're gonna bench Trubisky, Kenny Pickett's coming in. Kenny Pickett's finishing the season.
Yeah, that's a good point. Shout out to Raven Ron. He says, dig deep into your pockets this week. NFL is here. Degenerate Ron's bets. Here we go. O's run line and Baltimore, Toronto over 7.5. Ravens -7.5. Browns money line. I'm serious. Wow. Okay. Bama rolls Texas -20. Woo. D Weezy, what it do?
Well, that Bama roll in Texas, I think, is a strong possibility of happening. Texas hasn't been on the board much in a few years. They have been trying to turn it around. I think people have a misconception about them because of this whole move to the SEC there. But I do think that's possible that they could cover that.
So Texas is in fact not back, is what you're saying?
Horns down, baby.
Wow. Okay. All right. 20, man. That's a lot, man. I don't know about 20.
Yeah. Now going into that baseball, the Orioles run line, that's something. If you've been watching the videos at Backyard Action Media, this team is pretty much almost a statistical anomaly when it comes to the run line. Last time I checked, they were 40 plus games over 500 in the win department. So basically saying, regardless if it was a -1.5, +1.5 in that game against the run line, essentially they come out winning 40 plus more times than they have lost. So you can bet that one blind in my book. And as far as that game total over, looks like Raven Ryan might be watching the videos at Backyard Action Media because that's a play from today that's actually going on right now. And I'm going to try and pull up the live score and see where we at with that one. And what else did he have? Ravens -7.5. Looks like me and Ron back to, splitting our ways on the NFL. So looks like it's going to shape up for a good season because I'm going to be riding with that Jets.
Toronto, Baltimore is 1-1 in the top of the third.
Okay, okay. That's not bad.
All right. And shout out to Keeping It Real coming through. He says, I agree. Both of your predictions. The floor is 10-7. The ceiling is 12-5. It all comes down to the depth and the performance of the receivers and the pass rush. Talking about the Baltimore Ravens. Thanks for coming through, man.
Thank you for coming through, Keeping It Real. We appreciate you. Take a stand.
I knew he was going to say that. I knew he was going to look at his face like, no, man. Pick one.
Y'all have wide receivers?
We have 5 of them. Okay.
Oh, that's right. Y'all have likely.
We got one for you. His name's Robbie. Great hair.
I'll take him.
Very intellectual.
We'll take him. Can we get an edge rusher too? Because we only have 2 of those.
We don't have any of those.
D Weezy, Caleb called you disrespectful. All right.
Ooh, I could have really said something. Ooh, I'll save that for more private conversation.
Yes, let's say that for the overtime show because we do have a fantasy draft to do. D Weezy just joined at the last second. D Weezy, you almost lost your spot, by the way. I just want you to know that somebody almost took it. We weren't sure if you were going to sign up or not, but you came through. You came through at the last minute, and we have a full league. And the draft will begin in the overtime show where you can find D Weezy. D Weezy, tell people where they can find more of these hot takes.
Yes, y'all can get more videos and more betting takes at Backyard Action Media, where I'm dropping content almost daily. And if you want exclusive betting information, you can sign up at patreon.com/BAM News and get even more access.
All right. And he also has a channel on our Discord, Lunch Money Bets. And like I just said just a second ago, you can find him in our overtime show. You'll see him pretty soon if you're signed up. And D Weezy, thank you, and we will see you soon, my friend.
All right, everybody, take care out there.
All right. Yes, man, just hello. He said, y'all sleeping on Ricard. He's going to play edge rusher. He's a D tackle, first of all, sir. Okay. He's a D tackle, fullback, and wideout, apparently.
Tight end.
And tight end. All right. He needs more money, if you ask me. And he stays healthy. So
I think the racist needs to get cut, but yeah.
All right. So patreon.com/LBHT Show. Okay. We have 3 tiers. One of those tiers is going away. Well, it's not going away. The price is going to go up. Okay. That's the $3 tier. Get in while the price is still low. We actually extended it. We were supposed to raise it a while ago, but we held off on it. Look, shout out to who was it that signed up earlier? Sharon?
Sharon. Yes.
Shout out to Sharon. Thank you, Sharon. Appreciate that. Salute to Sharon. I don't know why my notification didn't come up. I have to fix that. Usually get a little thing over here, but I'll fix that.
Might just be lagging.
Yeah, that might be happening too. All right, B, tell them about the tiers real quick.
Yeah, so the $3 tier will get you into our NFL Pick'em League if you join very quickly, that we give away a custom LBHT trophy at the end of the year. The $10 tier, again, that gets you into our fantasy football leagues. That's kind of closed for this season, obviously with the season starting tomorrow, but that'll get you in going forward. And it gives you the ability to request specific content, articles or videos on any sports topic that you'd like. It also gives you the LBHT crew coin that Jose has there.
Yes. There you
and
go.
And a chance at the LCFL championship belt.
My belt
to the winner of the Dynasty League, which is probably going to be me. Kind of a waste now if you think about it that way, but that's all right. The $20 tier that we have is a combined tier for this show and the Ring Kings podcast that we do with OTR Mike, where we cover boxing. Basically every weekend, we're live streaming after big fights. We're going to be live streaming this week, probably after the Claressa Shields fight. And in that, you get everything that I just mentioned, as well as our custom poker set featuring our top 25 fighters of all time. And all of the tiers get you entrance into the overtime show that we do after this show, as well as the Discord channel.
All right. Quick shout out to my partner, Sterling, my work buddy. He says it's B and my main man Josh. Okay, you got it. And I saw your text earlier, Sterling. I didn't get a chance to respond, but I saw your text. Yeah, he's calling me Josh because somebody at work was trying to look up my account, and he's like, I can't find it. And then Sterling talked to him. He's just like, yeah, okay, he said, tell Josh I'll work on it right away. Like, my name's not Josh, it's Jose. That's why you can't find my account. All right. All right. Also, at the bottom there, that's our merch, lbhtshow.com/shop. Also, at the bottom of your screen, you should be able to see, I didn't upload the picture. I got to do that. You should be able to see some of our new merch, Raven City. Okay. Really nice shirts and mugs. The shirts are really selling. You guys love the shirts, and thank you for the support for that. But what you're seeing right here, what B's wearing is going to be there. Some of the stuff you see on the store is going to change up pretty soon. But it's here for a little bit while longer. So go check it out. And if there's something that you like, get it while it lasts. All right. Also, Ring Kings podcast. Okay. That is our other podcast that B has mentioned. We do that show with our brother OTR Mike. All right. Make sure you go there and subscribe, man. We're putting out a lot of good content, a lot more to come. All right. So if you're a Boston fan or you just like seeing our faces, you want to hang out with us a little bit longer, go over there. All right. Okay. And we will get back to the show. All right. Panthers time, B.
It is Panthers time. It's always Panthers time. Carolina's taking on the Cleveland Browns, featuring Jacoby Brissett. Obviously, that may not be the biggest storyline from this game, but glad to see Jacoby get another shot. Always been a fan of his. But Baker Mayfield obviously going back against the team who drafted him number 1 overall in 2018 and replaced him this offseason with Deshaun Watson. Carolina, coming back with the Three Stooges running that operation over there. We got Matt Rule at the head of that coaching staff. It's not great, but they're a talented bunch, a talented team over there in Carolina. We'll see what they've got coming up this season. To look at our depth chart, still Pat Elflein is what really stands out here. Still listed as a starter over Bradley Bozeman. Thanks a lot, Baltimore.
Yikes.
Yeah, really appreciate it. Y'all told me that we had a solid starter coming down.
You know what's scary about that? Pat Elflein didn't even look good.
No, he doesn't. I think it may be that Bozeman's not 100% healthy. That's what I'm hoping. And they're just kind of slow playing him a bit, making sure he's all right before they insert him in the starting lineup, because I don't want to watch Pat Elflein try. I don't even like Baker Mayfield, but I don't want to put him behind a line that's featuring Pat Elflein, is what I'm saying. Outside of the O-line, that's going to be a major storyline this season, right? It looks like they finally maybe solidified the O-line. But outside of that, you got DJ Moore coming back as the number 1 receiver, rock solid number 1 receiver, one of the best in the league, guaranteed to give you 1,100 yards every year. I think he's going to have a bit of a breakout. I mean, he's, like I said, he's already a top receiver, but I think he's going to do more than he has previously. I'm going to give him 1,300 yards. I'm going to say he finally kind of breaks out of his touchdown drought, and I'm going to get him to double-digit touchdowns this year. Besides DJ Moore, you got Robbie Anderson. I mean, nobody knows what's going on with this dude. Like he's all over the place. He seems like a good guy. I always think about him as the NFL J.R. Smith, but definitely available if you all need another wide receiver. I heard that you're starting somebody named Devin Duvernay. So if you want a solid number two, give us a call.
We'll take him.
Rashard Higgins, he played in Cleveland. He's a solid depth wide receiver. Shi Smith is the kind of I don't want to say a big story. I mean, he's Shi Smith, but he's making the team, and he looks like he may be the third receiver even after his legal trouble earlier this year. So congrats to him. Terrace Marshall, not congrats to you. I told y'all that was a waste of a pick. Everybody tried to argue with me. He even almost had me believing in him this offseason. I'm like, oh, he looks so good. Terrace Marshall, get out of here. All right. You and Robbie. And LaVisca, by the way. I don't know why they traded for you either. You can go as well.
Man, just
not liking the bottom of the wide receiver depth chart here.
Bad News B is back over here.
It's not
all right, listen, let's get some good news here. Mr. J6 says, what if I told you about a team that won it all, like the Giants, 2 Super Bowls, caught magic at the perfect time, and it never ran out? 30 for 30 presents Luck, the OTR Mike story.
that is the God's honest truth right there. Yeah, Titans. The Titans screwed me that year. But
if you don't know what he's talking about, this right here is what he's talking about.
Why? That's exactly what Mike wanted. Don't give in.
That's what he's talking about.
Don't let the terrorists win.
I took away your graphic. I'm sorry. You can bring it back up.
Oh, can I? Thank you.
Yes.
Man, everybody always disrespecting the Panthers, man. Moving to the defensive side of the ball, because I'm not talking about Baker. We got Brian Burns. I think he's, again, in line for a big season. I think he's finally going to break through this year. Derek Brown, Matt Ioannidis, and Yatir Gross-Matos is a pretty uninspiring rest of that D-line. Hopefully Gross-Matos can step up this season, but we'll see. And not a whole lot of depth behind them either. They're really going to be looking kind of to figure out what they have in that group this season.
I'm disappointed in how Derek Brown has played up to this point. He hasn't played bad, but
no, but that was kind of the way. Like he never really looked like he had, potential to turn great. Like he was a good player who was going to be good, which is why, I wanted Isaiah Simmons there, but that hasn't really panned out either. So whatever.
Well, see, so it's like that's the thing, right? Because if you draft Isaiah Simmons there, you probably don't get Jeremy Chin later.
They can still get Jeremy Chin because it was Gross-Matos who they took in the second round, and then they traded back in to get Jeremy Chin. So they could still do that.
They probably wouldn't have, is what I'm saying.
Maybe not.
No. So I mean, Derek Brown is solid. Like you didn't get a bum there.
No,
and Jeremy Chin is a good safety. So I mean, I guess it worked out. I mean, look, there's other players to be had there. That was a top 10 pick.
Yes. Yeah.
So
linebacking core, again, solid, unspectacular. Really, really enjoy watching Frankie Louvu play, but he's more of a situational guy. Shaq Thompson, I think, I was against re-signing him to the deal that he got, but again, not a bad player, just not a world beater. Damian Wilson is a guy they brought in free agency. Again, just a decent veteran middle linebacker there. Not a whole lot to say in the linebacking core. The secondary is kind of where this defense shines, I think, with Dante Jackson, J.C. Horn, C.J. Henderson. You mentioned Jeremy Chin, Xavier Woods, who they picked up in free agency this year. It's a very solid group, and they've got good depth across that group as well. So really expect to see the secondary play very well this season. And then they picked up a all-pro caliber returner in Andre Roberts. So coming into the Cleveland game, Cleveland's got a very, very talented roster almost across the board, right? And they got a solid defense, a good O-line, great run game. They brought in Amari Cooper, who is going to be the best wide receiver that they've had since Odell, which didn't really work out. So even probably better than that.
Yeah.
The question there is going to be, can Jacoby Brissett get him the ball consistently, right? I'm going to say the answer is no. And I'm going to say that Baker Mayfield, being the kind of person that he is, where he loves to take that external motivation and turn it loose on the field, I think he has probably his best game of the season in week 1. And they get a fairly big win against Cleveland. I'm not going to say it's going to be a mega blowout or anything, but I'm thinking, along the lines of like 28-17, 31-17, something like that.
That's kind of a blowout.
Sort of, it's a 2-score win.
Me, I think it's going to be a blowout. I'm going to say 35-10. Boom. 35-10. That's right. I said it. Baker Mayfield, when a motivated chip on his shoulder, Baker Mayfield with protection, right? With protection. And Christian McCaffrey, you got weapons. Man, that's dangerous. Okay, that is dangerous. The problem is that chip don't stay on the shoulder. That's the problem. We're going to talk about that in a minute with the season predictions. But yes, for this game, I think they smoked the Browns. All right. I know Raven Ron doesn't agree. I think he picked the Browns, but yes, yeah. I'm saying 35-10. DeAndre Thomas says Browns 2017. Wow. You could be right. OTR Mike says Baker's going to eat. Yes. Yes. Danny says agree. His best game will be week 1.
Come on, Danny. Be like that.
You know what? I don't agree. And I'll discuss more of that in the season predictions. You guys already know how I feel about this. Yeah. You already know. What's up, Agent E? Thanks for coming through, my friend.
What's up, Agent?
Yes. All right, put your scores in there. Put your predictions.
Before we move on to the actual season predictions, we have a little bit of an update on what we talked about previously from our guy Mills RX. He's at Game Medicine on Twitter, and like I said, on YouTube as well. Make sure you go and subscribe. It's not even just Ravens. He breaks down any injury news throughout the league. I mean, other sports as well. He's a great source of information. He said that Lamar kind of confirmed what he had been hearing from his source, and he was asked about J.K. Dobbins, and Lamar said hopefully he'll be out in a couple of weeks. So looking like he's not really close to playing.
Yeah, and that's fine. Like to me, that's fine. Don't rush it back.
That could be it could be problematic for Baltimore, running out with Mike Davis and Kenyon Drake. But as long as you got Lamar. Justice Hill. As long as you've got Lamar, that'll be the equalizer. Yeah. If the O-line plays better, it shouldn't matter too much.
All right. Hendo has Carolina winning 15-6. Living Legend says 24-21 Panthers. Raven Ron says 26-23 Browns. Okay. Jake P says 24-10 Panthers. All right. Mr. J says DJ Moore will have either Ward or Newsome touch the earth. Okay.
Hold on, I was looking at something else here. DJ Moore will have either Ward or Newsome. Okay. So, yeah. I look. I think I don't know that he's going to put him on the ground like that, but we'll see. Could be.
Ray Ron says so. Fatback Mike Davis, the number 1 running back. Huh?
Yes, sir. Look, man, he's like Mike Tolbert. He just rolls. All right, it's fine. Doesn't affect his game at all.
Yeah. Danny has Panthers 2017. All right. It's a good mixture of predictions in here in terms of who's going to win. I'm the only one predicting the blowout. Okay. Right. I'm telling you. All right. So a shout out to Anonymous. Oh, for $35 donation. I appreciate you. Anonymous says, when is Mr. Newton signing to the Panthers? Good question. Good question.
Happening.
Listen. Let me tell you. Let me tell you my prediction here. My prediction. All right. It starts out with Mr. I'm feeling dangerous. Baker.
Oh, Lord.
He's gonna blow out the Browns. Okay. He's gonna play even better the following week. I don't even know who they're playing, but he's gonna play even better the following week. He's gonna start out hot. They're gonna go on a 3-game win streak. Yes, I said it. 3-game win streak. And we're all gonna be sitting here saying, is Baker the guy? I'm gonna be saying it too. I'm gonna be leading the narrative. Is Baker the man? Have they found their quarterback? right? Everything's gonna be looking great, just like last year, right? 3-0, hottest team in the league, and then they're gonna take that first L, and then it's gonna start going downhill, right? And Baker gonna struggle. He'll win another game in there. He'll sprinkle a win in there at some point, and then he's gonna look bad. And then that's when it's gonna be coming down to cutting time, cutting of the coaches, cutting ties with Matt Rule, and Matt Rule, he'll be out of there. Ben McAdoo will take over. They don't want to go back to Baker Mayfield. They don't want to go back to Sam Darnold. The fans are leaving the stadium once again because look, they left the stadium last year. They went into the season knowing last year was going to be a bad year, right? They were hoping that maybe they got lucky. They thought they got lucky at first, but then they came back down to earth, and Sam Darnold looked awful, and the fans said, "Yeah, I'm out. I'll stay at home." And David Tepper showed that he does not want that. The same thing will happen this year. He will say, "Look, I'm going to bring back Cam. Cam
is not coming back.
He's
not going to come back for the circus again."
He's like,
it's not going to happen.
He gonna throw him a couple of dollars. He gonna take him to Bojangles, right? Just listen, man. Just like let's just have a talk, right? I'll fly you out in my private jet again. We're gonna talk, smoke some cigars, have a good old time, and then we're gonna get you signed. And Cam is going to win more games than you really want him to. I'm gonna say, what are you saying? Yeah, I ain't get my prediction yet.
We haven't even gone over the schedule yet, but we want to mention I got Game Medicine is here.
Shout out to Game Medicine.
How you doing, sir? Yes, Mike Davis will most likely be running back 1. JK still needs more physical therapy on the soft tissue in his knee so that it can support the joint thoroughly. So yeah, hopefully they do the right thing and sit JK until he is fully healthy, fully ready to go, unlike what happened with Rodney Stanley last year. Again, Baltimore is a talented enough team that they don't need to rush players back, but they seem to do it consistently.
I agree.
So going back to the season predictions for Carolina. Okay, so look, you go ahead and you give your prediction.
No. I'm going to go through. Read the schedule.
Okay, I'm going to read the schedule. They got Cleveland, then they're at the Giants. They got home for New Orleans, Arizona, San Francisco, at the Rams, home for Tampa, at Atlanta, at Cincinnati, home for Atlanta, at Baltimore, home for Denver, at Seattle, home for Pittsburgh and Detroit, at Tampa, at New Orleans.
I'm going to say you start out 3-0. You're going to take some L's along the way. You get another win in there. You might even get 2 wins. And then everything's going to change. Cam's going to come back. You'll take a couple L's, but you're gonna finish 8-9.
8-9.
And
all of this,
and Cam is going to finish his career as a Panther with a win.
Okay, I'll tell you what, he did finish his career as a Panther, so that already happened.
With a win.
But it wasn't a win, but that's all right. Looking at it, I think they beat Cleveland. I think they beat the Giants. I think they lose their next 7. And that's up until at Cincinnati. I think they get the win, at home against Atlanta. So that brings them to 3. They lose to Baltimore. They lose to Denver. They beat Seattle on the road, mind you. Big time win. Lose to Pittsburgh, lose to Detroit, lose to Tampa, lose to New Orleans, and they finish 4-13.
Dandy has 4-13. She put 4-12. She meant 4-13.
Come on, Dandy.
It's a typo. Okay, 2. The 3 is right next to the 2. Okay, I got you, Dandy. She meant 4-13. I got you.
No, I mean, come on, be more optimistic.
That's what you just said.
That's what I said because I am in a position where I have to be, I have to have some integrity and be realistic in what I'm saying. Danny,
but you're the fan.
You could just go wild with it. You could be like, man, you know what? They're going to get 6 wins. They're going to get 7. But you're going to go with 4? All right.
Look, Raven Ross says 8-9. That's what I'm talking about, Raven.
There you go, Raven.
All right. Well, you shook your head a second ago when I said 8-9.
That's because you're wrong, though. You talking about Cam coming back. He ain't coming back.
Mr. J says 9-8.
He hopes. He does hope. Mr. J and Davon are two of the most relentlessly optimistic and positive people I've ever met, man. I love it.
DeAndre Thomas says 5-12. Okay.
Again, now it can't be 5 again, DeAndre. It can't be 5 again. It's been 5 3 years in a row.
All right. We're going to go through the NFL games week 1 real quick.
Quick, because we have to get out of here.
We have to get out of here.
Like
all
right
right
now.
Yeah. Because yeah. We got about 10 more minutes before we got to wrap this up. All right. We're going to go over the schedule real quick.
All right. So we'll start off with we already did the Brown or the Panthers and the Ravens, so we'll leave those out. Tomorrow's game, Bills and Rams.
Rams.
Taking the Bills. I don't trust the Rams O-line. I don't trust Matt Stafford's arm. So we're going Rams there. Okay. Saints, Falcons.
No, you said you're going Bills.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, the Bills. The Bills.
Okay,
my bad. Yeah. Saints at Falcons.
Saints.
I'm gonna take the Falcons in an upset.
You just have no faith in Jameis.
No, it's not that. I have all the faith in Marcus Mariota. I'm gonna take the Falcons. I think the offense is gonna be explosive week 1. Actually, let me put a caveat here because I'm not sure. If Drake London plays, I'm taking the Falcons. If he doesn't play, I'm taking the Saints.
Drake London and Kyle Pitts is gonna be dangerous.
Yes, along with Patterson out of the backfield. Moving on to 49ers at Bears.
Niners.
Yeah, I got the Niners in that one. I'd like to take Chicago. I want to see Justin Fields do well, but got to take the 49ers on that one.
Mike, you said Panthers will go 4-4-9.
You are a very, very disrespectful man. Like,
listen, 4-4-9. Half of those are wins. Okay, right? A tie is a win and a loss. So really, you're talking about 8.5, right? 8.5 wins.
You are the worst. Next up, Steelers at Bengals. I'm taking the Bengals big in that one.
Big, huh?
Big.
I got the Steelers.
All right.
I picked the Bengals to win. I picked the Bengals to win the division. I'm picking the Steelers to win the game.
Okay. Eagles at Lions. I'm going to take the Lions in an upset.
Wow. I got the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
You just sat here and laughed at me for picking the Steelers with a consistently, good coach year in, year out, never had a losing season. But you're gonna go with the ankle biter. We're gonna bite him in the knees.
Kneecaps. He's eating kneecaps. And Jared Goff is a Super Bowl quarterback, if you remember.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Patriots at Dolphins.
Oh, man. Patriots.
I'm taking the Dolphins pretty big in that one too. I think they're gonna put their offense on display. Tyreek Hill is gonna go off in that game, I think.
It wouldn't surprise me, but I'll pick the Patriots.
Jacksonville, Washington.
Is OTR Quan listening? They said Chase Young might not even play.
No, I think for sure he's going to be out.
I got Jacksonville.
Yeah, I got Jacksonville. I think they're going to be one of the surprise teams this year. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to show why he was the god prospect at quarterback now that they have a real coach. Colts, Texans. You go ahead and take that one real quick.
Colts and Texans, Colts. But I think that game will be a little bit closer than people think. I think Lovey's going to do a good job with the Texans. And, I think that defense is going to play tough. But I got the Colts.
Got the Colts, huh? I think I'm going to take the Colts as well. I do agree that the Houston Texans are a team that's getting a lot of disrespect, and I understand why. I just don't agree with it. Davis Mills is a better quarterback than people give him credit for. Damian Pierce looks really good at running back. Brandon Cooks,
Davis Mills is whack, but that's okay.
That's not true. Brandon Cooks is a rock solid number one wide receiver. And they've got Nico Collins, who they like, Brevin Jordan at tight end. I think that they're going to be tougher than people are giving them credit for.
Oh, we got a donation. Shout out to Anonymous for the $30 donation. Appreciate you. Says high percentage, Rule or Newton finishing the season. Newton.
It's definitely Rule. Newton is not coming back.
Newton's coming back.
As much as I would like to see that he's not coming back, Matt Rule is going to finish the season. He's going to get fired on Black Monday. And they're going to go out and spend a boatload of money on somebody new.
You think they're going to lose 7 in a row? He's keeping his job? No way.
Yes, sir.
He's out of here. He's toast. He's toast. Okay.
All right.
We have all kinds of reasons to watch the Panthers this year. Okay. Matt Rule will not be there. All right.
All right. So the Giants at Titans.
Titans.
Yeah, I'm taking the Titans too. I mean, Derrick Henry going to run through Wings defense. It doesn't have to be any more complicated than that. Also, Daniel Jones is still there. Green Bay at Minnesota.
Oh,
it's a tough one, right? Because Green Bay, they've got that Baltimore wide receiver core, right? And Minnesota, yeah, they've got Kirk Cousins, but they've also got Justin Jefferson, Thielen, Cook. So, and they got a brand new head coach there. But I'm taking the Packers.
But Kirk Cousins is he's a bad quarterback.
Yes.
Never let anybody tell you Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback. He's not. He's bad.
Next up, Chiefs at Cardinals. It's a pretty nice matchup there.
That's week 1. Wow.
Yeah.
Chiefs.
Yeah, taking the Chiefs as well. Kyler, I mean, he whined and complained his way out of homework like the toddler he is, and it's going to show up on the field.
That's right. How dare you hold me accountable?
Definitely respect. I love that. But next up, Raiders at Chargers.
Another tough man. The AFC West is the division to watch. I want to watch all their games. Okay. Yeah. So Raiders at Chargers.
Yes, sir.
I will go with the home team. I will go with the Chargers.
I'm taking the Chargers as well. I think Derek Carr and Devontae Adams, I think they go off a little bit, but I don't think they'll have Darren Waller, at least a healthy Darren Waller. So I'm going to take the LA Chargers in that one.
Okay, Danny's got the Raiders. I see all your comments in here. I see everything that you guys are picking. Hey, keep them coming. Keep them coming. Living Legend says Chargers.
Yes.
Andre Thomas says Raiders. All right, let's keep it going. We got rapid fire here.
Tampa Bay at Dallas. And if you didn't know, Tom Brady's about to get a divorce, so go ahead and factor that in.
Is that why he was out for so long? He had that.
I don't know. That's what people are talking about. I don't really care. I mean, not that I want him to get divorced or anything. That would suck, but I don't care.
Yeah. I mean,
right. It's not.
Listen, he's 45 years old. He's got to show his age at some point.
Listen, Giselle, give him one more year.
Listen, I can't bet against a black coach. I'm going Tampa. I just remember. I was just like, wait a minute. Todd Bowles is the coach. I can't pick against him.
Betting against that black quarterback, though, I'm going Dallas. I think Dallas puts it on him.
I changed my mind. I'm going Dallas.
I think again. I think this is another situation. Dallas has. They've got Dak, they've got Zeke, they've got Pollard, they've got CeeDee Lamb. He's ready to step into that number 1 role. They've got playmakers on defense. I think they win by a couple scores.
Okay, and they played them pretty close to the opening game last year.
Yeah. That's the Sunday night game. Monday night game, revenge game. Denver Broncos and Russell Wilson going to Seattle.
That is going to be that's going to be ugly. I think
for the visitors.
Denver's going to win by a couple scores.
Yeah, Denver's got that. I hope Geno plays well. I want to see Geno do well in his opportunity as a starting quarterback. I just don't see it against Denver. Denver's got a good defense. They've got a good offensive line. They've got Russ. They've got the receivers. They've got Javonte Williams, and they got Melvin Gordon backing him up. I think it's way too much. I don't feel good about their coach, but it's not going to matter in this game. They're going to overwhelm Seattle.
All right, there you have it. Those are our picks. I hope you guys wrote it down because I don't remember who I just picked. All right. Look, we have about 3 minutes for bonus time. Okay, put it up. Bonus time. This is a rapid fire bonus time. Put your comments in there real quick. All right, put them in the chat box. We're gonna read them and we're gonna get out of here because we got a fantasy draft to start on the overtime show. And if you want to watch that draft, our drafts are a lot of fun. Patreon.com/LBHT Show. First of all, for you people in here, hit that like button. Also, if you're new, hit that subscribe button. I see somebody watching over on Twitch too. Go ahead and follow us on Twitch. All right. Also, Facebook. We back up on Facebook. All right. Don't be afraid to go over there if that's your platform of choice. All right. Yes. Rapido. Yes. This is a fast one. Okay. OTR Mike says, I hope takes Detroit for his first week. Pick 'em.
I'm gonna assume that was directed at me, Mike. And you know what? Screw you. All right, it's not gonna happen. You're going down this year. You're not gonna repeat. So just stop.
The 1 week the Jets won last year is a week we picked the team that played them, the Titans. Thank you, Titans.
Yeah. Titans are terrible.
And Dandy says, shout out to Francis TFO for the U.S. Open title. Yes, Black King from Maryland. Yes, indeed. Beat my man.
Nadal.
Yeah. Okay.
Very impressive.
Shout out to you. Let's see. Ravens Online on Gatekeeper says, when will Brodny admit that he is a secret Ravens fan?
I'll tell you what. Around the same time, all of you spell my name properly. How about that? It's not that difficult.
Listen. I would hold off on that question until next year. Make sure Lamar ain't going elsewhere, because B would be asking how many of you guys are still Ravens fans, or you want us to go ahead and talk about the Dolphins now? just not yet. Let's secure our quarterback first.
I won't be asking that, because there's a very real chance that I'll be looking for a new team this offseason.
Keenan Ricketts says, good luck drafting. Thank you, Keenan. Appreciate you.
Thank you. I don't need luck, but I appreciate that, man.
Living Legend likes to change the name change. Brodny. Okay. They all said Spicy Henny. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. All right. That's it. We're stopping there. All right. We have a lot more show left, and if you want to see it, Overtime Show. Yolanda asked over the weekend, when are we going to start doing 2 shows a week? And B had a reminder that we do 2 shows a week. Okay, right. One was called the Overtime Show, and Yolanda, shout out to Yolanda, who is a patron.
Facts straight, Yolanda.
Hey, Yolanda's a patron. Okay, so we appreciate you, yes. and you have access to that show, so you can come and hang out and watch us do the draft. All right, we'll make sure Sugar's on his best behavior. Okay. Yes, the Overtime Show is coming. It's on its way. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us. We keep teasing it. We have some changes coming up. We hope you like them. I do want to show you one thing. I did upload this. I want to show you. Okay, so when you look down on your screen and you see the products that we have there, you're like, what is that? I'm gonna give you a close look at that. Closer look. See, there you go. Okay. That is the Baltimore City skyline in the back, and in the front there, you see some Ravens wings, and you have part of the Baltimore City map there, and yes, that is East and West Baltimore. Okay, the black butterfly, as it will. All right, but we are very proud of that work, and shout out to our artists who did that. So yes, if you like it, I'll put it on the screen one more time. Go ahead and check it out. Get you some merch. Okay. Yeah, there it is. And Panthers fans, we did not forget about you. We got something hot for you guys. Don't you worry about that. That is coming soon. I think you guys are going to be very impressed with that. But all right, let's get out of here. Man, we got about 15 minutes to set this up. All right, patrons and participants, fantasy football participants, hold tight. We'll get this Overtime Show fired up. Everybody else, thank you for coming through. B, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right. B is ready. Y'all have a great night. Football is tomorrow, guys. It is tomorrow. Yes. Yes. Rejoice. Okay. And enjoy. It doesn't matter what happens at work tomorrow. Okay. You get home and you relax, watch some football, and know there's going to be more on Sunday. Have a great weekend. All right. I don't, streaming, we'll see. There will be some weekend streams. There will be some post-game streams. Like, we just can't tell you when. Okay. You just got to be ready. Just be ready. Hendo's going to be streaming.
Yes, he is.
Ravens Online on Gatekeeper is 6 o'clock.
Hashtag 2-hour show.
Hashtag 2-hour show. So you're going to look. That's LBHT crew right there. So okay, you're still getting some lunch break hot take esque show there. All right, but all right, we're getting out of here. I'm rambling. We gotta get out of here. All right, everybody, y'all have a great night. We will see you next time. Peace out.